Probiotics have been trending lately, but they can either bring little benefit or cause harm if not used wisely. Stay with us until the end of this video for expert advice on using probiotics the right way. This is what your doctor might not tell you.
We can pick and choose these microbes for the effect we want. You can choose another microbe, say Bacillus coagulans, makes a delicious yogurt, and it reduces arthritis pain. And if you're an athlete, you recover faster because you have less muscle injury during strenuous exercise. If you want to shrink your waist, let's make yogurt with Lactobacillus gasseri. It'd be an R17 strain, and your waist will shrink. Let's say you want a healthier baby. Let's restore the microbe that is lost by most mothers and children called Bifidobacterium infantis. And that child is more likely to sleep through the night, has 50% fewer bowel movements, thereby 50% fewer diaper changes for mom and dad, less colic, less fussiness, abdominal discomfort, less regurgitation, and as an older child, less asthma, less likely to have an autoimmune disease like type 1 diabetes, and has a higher IQ, smarter. That one microbe has lifelong implications for that child, that person. That's how powerful the microbiome is becoming. It's becoming so powerful we can use it to manage health in extraordinary ways. So that microbe I mentioned, Lactobacillus reuteri, I'm a chronic insomniac. For years, made worse by training and medical school and practice. But even after I stopped practicing, still cannot sleep. I take reuteri 9 hours straight through vivid dreams. So I made yogurt out of Lactobacillus casei shirota. I was sleeping 12 hours. Chronic insomniac. I had to stop. That's how effective it was. Now, it varies. Some people get this, some people don't. But those are two that are very helpful for sleep. Lactobacillus reuteri, in this case, the 6475 strain. And so one of the things we have to, when we play with microbes, you do have to pay attention to this kind of annoying thing called strain. But my favorite illustration is if I have E. coli, you've got E. coli, your listeners have E. coli. But what if you ate lettuce contaminated by cow manure and thereby E. coli? You can die of that E. coli. Same species, different strain. So strain doesn't always make a life-death difference, but it can. So we do have to pay some attention to strain. So I know that the 6475 strain of reuteri sold as a commercial product called Gastrus, Gastrus. That works for many people. The Yakult strain, once again, sold to you in very low counts, so we make yogurt out of it. And by the way, it doesn't have to be dairy. It can be other things. It can be coconut milk, it can be hummus, could be salsa, could be fruit purees. You can ferment all kinds of things. Dairy just had to be easy. You can get that really deep sleep effect. I have a friend who formulated a product called Simply Slumber. It's a probiotic. That's been working for a lot of people. Now, I asked her name is Martha Carlin, the company's called Biotics. I have no relationship except they're my friends. This product, Biotics Simply Slumber, I asked Martha, how did you formulate your product? I said, well, we chose microbes that produce melatonin. Not tell the brain to release melatonin, but actually produce melatonin. And so far, we've had a number of people taking that product, and it seems to work quite well. Now here, I added yogurt made with Lactobacillus casei shirota strain. You can buy it as a commercial product called Yakult, Yakult. We're very popular in Asia. When you buy it, it's a commercial product. When you buy it, they sell it to you in very low counts. And that's my motivation for making yogurt out of it, is we're going to use extended... See, microbes don't have sex, right? There's no male and female microbes. They have asexual reproduction. One microbe becomes two becomes four. Well, reuteri, for instance, my favorite microbe, doubles every 3 hours at human body temperature. Well, in a commercial factory where they produce yogurt, they ferment for 4 to 6 hours. So if it doubles every 3, you got nothing. So we're going to ferment for 36 hours, 12 doublings. And when we counted the microbes using something called flow cytometry, we get about 300 billion per half cup serving. And so that's part of the reason why we ferment these things for extended periods. You've got to make time, because if you don't, you'll pay the price at the other end. That price may be cancer, dementia, heart disease, sudden cardiac death. And these are real conditions. I took care of people many times, and they all had regrets about not. So just recognize that health does not come from the doctor. It comes from your own efforts, and you've got to find ways to, and there are ways to economize on time. Some people, for instance, I know, will make several meals on Sunday when they have some free time and put them in the freezer. And there are things you can do. These are all outlined in my books and cookbooks. You can do it. I have tons of busy people who are managing to do it. There are increasingly some conveniences you can get too, like you can buy fermented foods now. And by the way, if you do that, I tell people, if you buy fermented, say sauerkraut or kimchi, leave it on your kitchen counter for an additional 48 hours or longer. Because the abbreviated fermentation times in a factory, because they want to go as fast as possible, you extend fermentation by leaving it on your counter for a couple of days or longer. So there are things like that, little tricks like that can save you some time. So you don't want to take the time to make your own kimchi. You can buy kimchi, let it ferment on your counter. If you ever see any kind of discoloration or fuzziness, that's just mold or fungus. Scoop it off. You can still eat the kimchi or the sauerkraut or the fermented veggies. And when you want to stop fermentation, put it in the refrigerator, and it slows down fermentation. Another way is microbes, especially species like, and I'm sorry about these names, Faecalibacterium prausnitzii, Akkermansia muciniphila, other species of Lactospiraceae, Ruminicaceae, and some Clostridia species. So these produce something called butyrate when you feed them. So if you feed them a fiber like inulin that you get from onions or garlic or green unripe bananas, another source, or commercial powder of inulin, that feeds those microbes. They produce something called butyrate. And butyrate you absorb, and it has brain effects, as well as blood pressure and blood sugar reducing effects, but it has an effect. So a lot of people who first add prebiotic fibers like inulin to their diet say, oh, I can't believe the dreams I had. I was deep sleep. When you're dreaming, you're in very deep sleep. My sleep is profound and deep and restoring. And I had like childlike dreams. I'm flying. I'm showing up at the school play without having rehearsed my lines. So all that stuff comes back. So those are some of the ways that the microbes, who would have thought, right? Microbes in the gut influence what goes on in the brain, but it's a profound influence. The hazard of fibers, prebiotic fibers, that is fibers that microbes can consume and metabolize. The danger of that, though, is if you take those fibers while you have SIBO, that is 24 feet of microbe living in your swamp, you're going to get a lot of bloating, diarrhea, panic attacks, nightmares, especially if they occur within the first 90 minutes of consumption. That is, by the way, a very confident sign that microbes, fecal microbes, are living in your small bowel, SIBO. And so if that happens to anybody, stop the fiber, address the SIBO, like with the SIBO yogurt. There are other ways too. There's a conventional antibiotic called rifaximin or Xifaxan, and you see advertised on TV for irritable bowel syndrome. You could do that too. I personally would do the yogurt. If the solution, Cindy, was remove your colon, well, we better be damn confident that's necessary, right? And so that's what we've been doing now, and it truly has performed far beyond my expectations. I don't think it's a stretch to say this is part of a revolution. It's a complete change in the way we view health. And I don't think we're that far away from saying things like, if you have weight to lose, get these microbes. If you have a high blood sugar, get these microbes. If you have depression, get these microbes, or related kinds of strategies. I think I know I'm there already. We're doing that. But I don't think mainstream healthcare is there yet. It's going to take a generation or longer. That's how long it takes, because most doctors still think that the training they got in 1997 is still current. It's not. It's woefully out of date. The science, because a lot of the science, as you point out, is so new that you have to talk to the scientists or do your own science, as we do, to generate novel observations.
Don't hesitate to pass on the knowledge and hit the subscribe button on our channel for more practical health insights.